This is Call of Duty on an iPad with a 5-finger claw layouts, and this is Call of Duty Mobile on a phone with just 2 fingers and a thumb layouts. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys Handcam gameplay of both the claw layouts and the thumb layouts, and we're going to see in which scenarios the thumb layout is better than the claw layouts, and the claw layout is better than the thumb layouts. I'm very curious. If you're watching this video, what do you use? Do you use 2 fingers or 3 or 4 or 6 or do you use 10 fingers? I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments and we can see what the most common amount of fingers people actually use when they play Call of Duty Mobile. But I hope after this video is done, you guys can actually see a proper set of similarities and differences between the two. If you guys do enjoy this video and you learn something new, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. If this video gets a lot of support, I'll do more Handcam gameplays like this in the future. Thank you so much, guys, and let's get into this. Alright, guys, so to start things off here, we're going to jump into some iPad gameplay with the Handcam, of course. This is going to be with the 5-finger claw method, as you guys can see right here. Works out pretty well for me. I think 5 fingers is pretty good, and, you know, most players would be able to pretty easily transition over to that if they were to get an iPad or some type of tablet. And the way that this video layout is going to be is you're going to see gameplay here on the iPad first. Then we're going to switch over to my phone, where I'm going to play with 2 fingers in the thumb layouts. Then we're going to switch back to the iPad, and then to the phone. I'm going to be playing in unranked matches in free-for-all, and the reason is because I'm at a different rank on my iPad and my phone. So if you're watching this video right now, you would see, if I were to go into ranked matches, a very big difference in the types of players that I go up against. They would be much better on my iPad than on my phone, and it might make you immediately think that, well, things are a lot easier on the phone. You know, it goes as far to say that the players that you go up against are actually easier. And no, that's actually not the case, right? So the reason I'm going into an unranked match is just because I want to show you guys very similar gameplay where we can have a wide variety of different players that we come in contact with. Unranked means we can go up against bots, we can go up against average players, and we can go up against pros. There's no limit to who we can come in contact with, and I think that's really, really good for this type of video here. So, with that out of the way, first things first, you guys are going to start to notice pretty quickly, and you might have already noticed, that if you're playing with claw, you're going to have such a great amount of movement speed. I think that's the biggest difference between playing with claw and playing with thumbs. And that even goes to if you're playing with claw on a phone, right? There are probably many people watching this video right now that use 3 or 4 fingers and they're playing on a small phone screen. And you'll notice that you can have much more versatility with your movements and the buttons that you can press than somebody who plays with just 2 fingers on their phone. If you're playing with 2 fingers, just your thumbs, then you have to choose whether or not you want to jump and then shoot. You can't do that at the same time. You have to do one and then the next, or you have to scope and then you have to shoot. You can do all of that at the same time if you play with the claw method, and you'll see that throughout this video. I come to this window, I can literally aim, shoot, and jump all at the same time, and that is not possible if you only play with 2 fingers, alright? You have to choose between one or the other. This is the reason that I would recommend people who play with thumbs to use the tap and hold to aim down sight button in your settings. You don't want to have to press the scope individually from your firing button if you play with thumbs in most scenarios. There are some times, especially in maps like Kill House, where things are extremely close range, where it might be beneficial if you are able to hip fire with thumbs. But in many scenarios, especially in a map like here, Meltdown, where many times you come in contact with people that are not too close to you, then you would actually tap and hold to aim down sight, and then that way you can press 2 buttons at the same time. So that's one benefit, and you're going to see that throughout this video. When I am actually showing you this Handcam gameplay on my phone here in Raid, I'm much more limited with the amount of movement that I can do, right? So right there, what I did was I just pressed the firing button, and that was all I could do. I can't really jump at the same time that I'm pressing that firing button, because what am I going to do? Move my other hand to the other side of the screen? No, you can't do that, right? You have to choose one or the other. So think about it. If you're watching this video right now, and you're a thumb player, and you go head-to-head at close range with somebody who's playing with claw, imagine they can jump and they can hip fire while you're stuck with literally just aiming and shooting, and that is all you can do. All right? So, yeah, if you're watching this video right now and you're a thumb player and you don't like to have that limitation, maybe it's in your best interest to want to change. But throughout this video, I want to really stress that you should not be pressured into using claw method just because you think it's better and just because all of the YouTubers constantly tell you that it is, all right? I played with thumbs for such a long time, for well over a year in this game before I finally switched to claw, and I was perfectly fine. In the vast majority of matches that I went into, I was great. I did well. I won matches. I was able to get good footage for my YouTube videos. Everything was all hunky-dory, okay? All right? So if you're watching this video right now and you're just a casual player and you have no reason to want to switch to claw, then don't, all right? Don't put yourself through all that struggle if you're just a casual player and you have no intention of doing that, right? You just do what you want to do, all right? Have fun and just enjoy the game. That's most important, right? But if you're watching this video and you want to turn more into a pro player, or you're really caring about ranking up higher, you're going to have to add some more fingers to your layouts so you can actually do all of that stuff at the same time. Like right there, about 5 seconds ago, I saw a guy, and since I had the tap and hold to aim down sight, I was lucky. I was able to kill him, but what happens if that guy moved around too fast to where I couldn't even, reach my scope to hit him? Severe disadvantage right there if you're playing with thumbs. So that's one big thing to note. Next up, though, I do want to talk about a couple of things, and this is relating Battle Royale. If you're watching this video right now and you don't play Battle Royale, I have news for you. There's really not that many big differences between thumbs and claw. The bigger differences that you're going to notice between the two different HUD layouts is when you start to jump into Battle Royale. If you go into medium to long range and you have just the thumb layouts, you are at such a bigger disadvantage than if you go into a multiplayer match and you have thumbs, all right? The people that play with thumbs really can only shine in close range in Battle Royale, and that's because those ranges mostly mimic what you would experience in regular multiplayer matches, especially if you're playing in first-person Battle Royale. Third person is entirely different. It's really just crazy on a whole nother level, but at least in first person, a lot of the closer ranged encounters that you come in contact with in Battle Royale are very similar to, what you would see here in Raid for this instance. However, also, in Battle Royale, you have a lot of other buttons as well. You have a vehicle. Well, you want to get inside the vehicle. You want to switch seats. You want to do a whole lot of other stuff. And you want to do that all at the same time while looking around and maybe even firing your gun and leaning out the window. How are you supposed to do that with only 2 fingers? You can't, right? So you're at a big disadvantage if you're in Battle Royale just in general, if you're playing with your thumbs. However, as I said, multiplayer, not as big of a difference. Another thing that I want to note is the fact that if you're playing with thumbs, you're actually going to have more comfort over a long period of time. Now, this might not be the truth for everybody, but I've noticed when I play on my thumbs versus my iPad, I get very uncomfortable when I'm playing in the claw layout for a long period of time. I play with this layout that you're seeing right here for 2-3 hours. Dude, my hands wear out. It gets very uncomfortable, and I can only imagine what it's like when you're playing on a small phone screen and you have your hands in a very weird position to where you can actually press like 4 or 5 buttons on your screen, right? It gets uncomfortable, and I can't say the same when you're playing with your thumbs. If you're playing with 2 fingers, it's just more geared toward the casual player. And if you're a casual player, strangely enough, and you use these 2 fingers, you can actually play for longer periods of time and still be in comfort. Another thing, the fact that you actually sweat more if you play with the claw method. Maybe, again, this is not the same for everybody, but the vast majority of people always think that claw indicates more intense, you have to be more on edge, and you just, in general, sweat a lot more. I don't know why, right? But in this video, when I recorded this, right, I sweat a lot more when I was playing with my iPad than I did with my phone with the thumb layouts, all right? I felt like I was more sitting in the back seat when I was playing with my phone. And I was like sitting really on edge and thinking everything was super intense when I was playing with my iPad, right? I don't know how else to describe it. You sweat more when you play with the claw method. And that means that you're going to accidentally press buttons over a long period of time, which you're not going to see in this video because I didn't want to add that, but that does happen, and it happens to a lesser extent when you're playing with your thumbs. Of course, you can always add finger sleeves, but not everybody has that, and not everybody is willing to get that, especially if you're just a more casual player. And then finally, I would say there are some actual maps that are more beneficial for the thumb players than for claw players. I know that's a bold statement, and you're watching this video and saying, how is that even possible that there are some maps that are better for thumbs? And it's just, there are some maps that are more geared toward thumb players. I don't know how else to describe it. I would say Summit is one of them, for example. In Summit, at least not in the central area of the map, you're going to be at about close to medium range, not too close and not too far. And it just works well for when you're using that tap to aim, hold down sight button all at the same time, right? It just works out well. You don't have too many people that come in contact with you at too close of a range where you have to use hip fire. And it just works really well in Summits. What you guys saw earlier on in this video, Raid is not as good of a map for thumb players. It's a lot more difficult. Dome, which we just saw here we finished up in, is another one that is not as good for thumb players because there are many scenarios where you get so close to somebody that they can just zoom around you, slide and jump, right? And there's no way you can really kind of counteract that if you're just playing with two fingers. You can't press all of those buttons fast enough to where you can actually react and kill the person before they can kill you, right? But hey, you know what? As I said earlier on, a lot of the players that are going to be playing with thumbs don't really care about that, you know? They don't really care about potentially losing matches and stuff like that. If they do, it doesn't matter, you know? Because if you're playing with your thumbs, you're more of a casual player, and guess what? It's perfectly fine to do that. If you are one of the few people that are watching this video right now who play with thumbs and you're an actual pro player, I have massive respect for you. And honestly, I'd love to make a video where I actually, like, interview you, how you actually do it, you know, and how you compete against claw players when they have so much more movement versatility. I would love if you could reach out to me on Twitter at ExxotikGaming so we could actually talk about that stuff, maybe even do it for a future video. That would be pretty cool. But in general, as I said earlier on, it really comes down to you, all right? There's going to be a lot of people in this video right now, down below in the comments section, that are going to say, "Oh, well, I can't believe you would use thumbs. You would be such a noob if you would do something like that." And don't be bullied into thinking that you have to do that, okay? If you play Call of Duty Mobile, maybe only an hour or two a week, and you really don't have that much incentive to become a pro player, or even, like, you know, rank up to the max level or anything like that, and you just like playing with your thumbs, then keep at it. Don't sit there and have people try to tell you that you have to switch to claw method. But if you are one of the people that wants to become more of a pro player, I would definitely recommend at least adding one more finger to your layouts and then another one, and slowly reaching up to that claw method. That is going to work out better for you in the long run, and you're probably going to get much better gameplay over a long period of time. And, dude, the video already ended. I can't believe it already ended this fast, and I did have a couple more things that I wanted to say. But, in general, as I said, right, thumb players are going to be more of the casual players, and that is perfectly fine. If you're one of the few people that is a very hardcore pro player, you know, max rank everything, and you use two fingers, your thumbs, massive props to you, dude. I don't know how you do it. But if you're more of an average player and you just want to get better, you might want to add a couple more fingers to your loadout, or your layout, I should say. You don't have to have 5 fingers or 6 fingers. Just start with 3, you know? Your pointer finger, your 2 thumbs, and you're going to be at a massively better advantage than you were when you just had 2 thumbs. But hopefully, with this video, you guys could see that there were several scenarios where if you're playing with thumbs, it's perfectly fine. You can do just fine, right? And there are other scenarios where if you do use claw, you're going to be at a much better advantage, right? There are many more times when using claw is better than thumb, but there are a couple of times where thumb players can do just as well as claw players, and that's something that's really important to understand, right? You don't always do 100% better just because you have the claw layout, right? You can do very, very well if you play with your thumbs. But with that being said, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys did enjoy this Handcam gameplay. I know I'm not the best with either layouts, but I hope it was good enough for you guys to sort of understand what it's sort of like if you're playing with claw versus thumbs, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and again, comment down below if you play with thumbs or your claw method, and how many fingers that you use. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious, so let me know down below in the comments. Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all later.